So I finally got a lead mallet mold. I've been wanting one of these for quite a while now. I've been kind of waiting, looking at, eBay and Facebook, and waiting for the right price because these things are pretty expensive. I entertained the idea of doing what Mr. Pete did and make the mold. I wouldn't have had to do as many steps as him because I have a 3D printer. So I could have printed the positive and then cast the negative in aluminum, but it's still a lot of work. And I was watching Keith Rutger use something similar to this when he did it, and I was like, oh man, if I don't have to make it, I could buy it. So I immediately went on the internet, searched around like everybody does, and quickly found out that these things are typically $200 plus. Some of them you can buy as a kit with the handle. You can buy, they sell the lead ingots with it if you want that, or they just sell just the mold. But again, like I said, for roughly $100, this is actually a pretty good deal. So again, just going to kind of clean this guy up, get it, back into shape, and really be cautious with it. Obviously, there's been lead in this thing, so just be cautious. Just going to be cautious with that. I did want to mention also, this is the one that I made. You guys may have seen the video for it. It's actually, I love this little hammer. Sometimes it's just not heavy enough. So having the 4-pounder around would be great. So this is interesting. So this has been etched. Aaron's Tool Room. Kind of neat what you discover and get under the rust. So you can really start to see where the flashing is here now. Right along this corner, along this edge right here, I can knock all this flashing off. Got really, there's a nick up here, but I still think there's enough little sealing surface on the mold to hold the lead in. But you can just see all this flashing. Okay, so not perfect, but much better. So it looks like we got the right dimensions now, and the mold closes good. Everything seems to be tight. So this part is good. And now what I'd like to do is shorten this handle because it's a little too long for me. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces pretty much fabricated here. This solid piece is just going to go in here. It's going to serve as the plug to stop the lead. And when I weld these back together, it's going to, serve as a backup strip. All right, so here's our setup, and I'll just zoom in on the bevel. So you can see we're going to run our bead right there, and get most of it all the way around. I used a really small angle iron there. Alright guys, so here's how we're looking. Just got this bad boy welded and ground down. A little warm yet, but looks like it's going to fit in here nicely. And so just getting ready to pour here, getting the lead hot over there. One thing we need to do here first is just prep the mold. And now what I'm going to do is smoke the mold. These are just sort of strike anywhere kitchen matches. So just smoking the mold here. Do that again on the other side. This is just essentially a mold release agent. Just continuing to smoke the mold here. So let's get ready to cast this. Okay, so the plan is I'm going to pre-melt a bunch of lead. I'm not going to melt lead directly into the cup at first because it's dirty, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some lead that I already had precast and drop it in here. And get this pot good and full. And then clean it out. I always flux with a little beeswax, and then transfer this lead into this cup, then reheat it, because it's going to solidify as soon as I drop it into here. Then reheat it, and then pour it in. You can see those ingots are melting down in there quite nicely. Good and ready. So let's try to pour this without making too much of a mess. A little bit of a mess, no big deal. Let that sprue solidify a little bit. I'm just going to rock back, let things cool off here. Little spillage, no big deal, that goes right back in the pot. Same deal here. That's the beauty of lead. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes or so, let's see what it looks like. It's looking pretty damn good. Yeah, it's a little wonky. Not too bad. So there you have it. Let's see if we can trim this bad boy off. Wheel weights. Just wheel weights.